and welcome back to my channel. MG here, and if you're new then welcome, and if you're returning then welcome 1,000 times. I'm MG, this is my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing my writing process. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow me because you love me oh so much, then go down to the description box below. I have my Instagram and Twitter accounts linked down there. And if you have suggestions for future videos, go ahead and leave that in the comments box below. So today I'm going to be doing my writing process, and I'm going to answer some questions that I've come up with after watching some other videos and thinking about kind of what I do. I have 12 questions in total. I hope you will stay to the end of them. I have all of the questions listed in the comments box below because I want to encourage all of you, my fellow writers, to copy, paste, and answer these questions in the comment section down below. Without further ado, my writing process. Question 1. What genres do you write? So for me, I focus heavily on fantasy genres because it's an escapist genre, and I really like things that are sort of out there and different, and I love the idea of magic and folklore and all that other stuff. So fantasy really fits with what I want to write as a writer. So I do a lot of fantasy. I am kind of playing around with the idea of doing some nonfiction books, some more contemporary or historical works, but predominantly, very heavily, I've always done fantasy. That's what I write, that's what I'm currently writing, it's what I hope to continue to write in the future. So question 2, where do you write? I write in my room here currently. I'll write on my laptop here, or I'll write downstairs in the basement. I have a little corner desk with my computer set up that I'll also write on. I'm in the process of getting myself a desk solely for the purpose of writing and having it full of all of the implements and tools that I use for writing, and just kind of like have it as my creative workspace. I don't have it yet, so again, where I'm currently writing is in my bedroom or in the basement. Question 3. Do you outline your stories or characters or both? So for me, for a very, 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 very long time, I didn't outline. I hated the idea of outlines. I actually purposefully, when I was assigned outlines in school, I would not do them. I would make the outline after I wrote my paper because I hated the idea of making an outline. So for the longest time, I never wrote any outlines for my books. And my books kind of went alright, but sometimes I would end up looping back on myself and getting turned around and not really knowing exactly where I was headed, just having a general idea, which is fine for some people, but I found that I really struggled to complete my works when I did that. So for this work that I'm currently doing, I have done some loose outlining of what I want in the book, what I want to accomplish with the book, and the major events and scenes that I want to do and how I hope to link them up together. My characters, I don't tend to outline. I love the idea of doing a character outline, putting all of that good information into like little boxes and bullet points and all of that, but I'm not that orderly of a person. I haven't done it. I hope to do it, just haven't done it yet. So no, I do not outline my characters. I do have a general idea of how they look, how they react, how they feel about things, but I currently do not outline my characters. Question number 4 is, do I prefer to write in longhand or do I prefer to write on the computer when I'm writing my stories? So for me, I like how it feels to write longhand, but because I just write so much faster when I type on the computer, I tend to have all of my books written on the computer. This doesn't mean that I never pick up a pen and write that way. I just predominantly do the bulk work of my story on a computer. Question number 5 is, which comes first, characters or book ideas? So for me, predominantly the book idea will come first and the characters will then follow. Sometimes I have an idea for a character. There's actually one specific time that I know that I've had an idea for a character and then come up with a story for it, but typically it's the book idea and then the characters will just start popping out of the woodwork everywhere. Question number 6 is, do you listen to music or TV while writing? I prefer to listen to music, but music that doesn't have voices in it or words necessarily that I understand. I prefer to listen to instrumental music. I prefer to listen to ambient music. I prefer to listen to music that is very like calming or very reminiscent of the theme of that chapter that I'm working on, like if it's emotional or epic or tragic. Or I'll look on YouTube for your playlist songs put together that are supposed to invoke that kind of thing, and I'll just use it to get myself into the zone, and I'll just have my headphones on and I'll listen to that while I write. I also like to have, if I can find it, I also like to have ambient music such as street sounds from the Victorian era, or murmuring voices from a theater room or stuff like that. Just kind of like little ambient things that kind of like help you picture yourself in the scenario that you have your characters in, which furthers my ability to write the scene well. And other than that, I try not to have anything really distracting going on around me when I write my story. I don't have the TV on because that definitely distracts me because I am a very visual person, but if I have the background noise of the music playing in my headphones, then I'm typically good to go. Question number 7 is, what time of day do you prefer to write? So for me personally, I tend to find myself writing later in the evening, typically either right before or after dinner. I would prefer to try and get this switched around to earlier in the day because I feel like I would have less distractions vying for my attention if I woke up early, but I'm currently not doing that. So right now I'm writing in the evenings or at night, and it gives me some late nights of work, but it is when I do my work and when I seem to get it done. Question number 8 is, do you ever experience writer's block? Yes, I do. I've had long periods of time where I endure nothing but writer's block, but just because you have writer's block doesn't mean you should stop writing. It just doesn't necessarily mean your writing is going to be as good as before, but that shouldn't stop you. I am going to discuss more about my writer's block and what I do when I have it in a different video, and I will link that whenever I get that up for you guys. Question number 9 is tea, coffee, or food? And my answer is whatever I need at the time. I drink coffee because of the caffeine, I'll drink soda, I'll drink water, I'll drink tea. Sometimes I'll need a little bit of something crunchy, but typically I'll just have a drink and I'll just sit down and use that when I'm writing, and then if I'm in the zone, I tend not to think too much about what else I have around me. I'll just take a sip of my tea or my coffee and keep going. Question number 10 is, have you ever finished a book? And the answer to that is yes, I have, and no. I finished a draft of a book, but I was very, very young then, and as exciting and thrilling as it was to have a book completed, I didn't quite understand exactly everything that I needed to do after that point, and the book actually needs a lot more work than for me to be able to comfortably say that it's totally, completely finished. But as it stands now, I have finished the draft of this book, and I hope in the future to go back and iron it out, get it fixed up, and get it actually published. So question 11 is, how many works in progress do you currently have? For me, I have, I counted this out. I have about 11-ish projects that I have started and not finished that I still hope to someday finish. I have a couple of other ideas that I'm kind of kicking around in my head. So I've got somewhere around 11, maybe slightly more, works in progress, that I hope to someday complete. They're not currently what I am working on, so hopefully they will make the cut someday soon. Question number 12. I lack the amount of fingers for this, but question number 12 is, what are you currently working on? And this is my final question for this video. What I am currently working on is a vampire werewolf origin type story, and it's basically my take on how vampires and werewolves came to exist in our world, if they did exist. And I call it the Genesis book is what I'm going to call it right now. It's supposedly my beginning of vampires and werewolves and how I imagine they could have came about in the past in our world. That book is going to end up being rather long. In fact, I think it's going to currently be even longer than I originally intended. I'll probably cut out a good chunk of the draft when I have it finished, but for now it's probably, I'm thinking, going to end up about 100,000 words. And so if I continue at this rate, I hope to hopefully have it completed, maybe not as soon as I wanted, but soon enough. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much, lovelies, for stopping by. You all put such a smile on my face whenever I get to see what you guys leave in the comments box or if you like my video. And I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below. Again, I will put the questions that I made here in the description box for you guys to use for yourselves if you feel like doing a video like this or you just want to answer these questions for yourselves. So thank you again for coming. As always, I hope that you have enough of whatever you need. And the word of the day is to confabulate, which is a fancy way to say chat, where you're basically conversing informally or chatting with someone. And I hope that you guys enjoyed my confabulation today and that you all have a wonderful week. Bye, lovelies.